you were watching Minship LOL. I'm Minship, you're you, and today we're going to be talking about MMO news. Hey guys, it's me. First up, right off the bat, I want to talk to you about some of the cool stuff that's coming up in MMOs, usually free-to-play MMOs at the moment, so let's get right into it. Red 5 Studios just announced the open beta starting date for FireFall as July 9th, 2013. FireFall is one of the largest co-op MMO FPS games released, I think, ever. You don't level, everything is tier-based, and you have jetpacks that you fly. In this upcoming beta, there's going to be a lot of new features and also new rewards and new bonuses by increasing the power level of the cities. I guess there are like major cities, and you have to increase their power level and you get increased bonuses, increased rewards. Next up is Dragon Prophet. Remember, I think a few episodes back, I talked about a dragon MMO that was like, oh, you capture dragons and you drive them. You ride them, you train them, and it's awesome, right? I mean, that just sounds really cool. At least to me, I've always wanted to have a dragon. Anyway, they just recently released a video, a new trailer that's covering player housing. The trailer has a lot of really cool stuff in it. It has like the housing, it has dragons, it shows a little bit of like the community and basically the sort of look of the game, and I think it looks really neat. And I'm probably going to play this game. Yeah, I like dragons. And you can build your own house and furnish it and do all sorts of things to it. I have a feeling that that's going to be where they're going to make money, but decorating your own house, like what the fudge? Especially like the houses they have are really cool looking. They're like little castles. Next up is Lost Titans, which is an MMORPG browser-based game. It's an action MMORPG, sorry, from ZQ Games. They just entered their second phase of beta. There are new pets, new zones, new mounts, new everything. Oh, and you can play as a new class, or not a new class, but a new playable character, the Warrior of Light. Plus, the level cap has been increased from 75 to 85. Also, if you act quick enough, go down to the link below at freetoplay.com and access your early bird gift pack for beta. You basically get your beta key, and then you get this really cool gift pack that comes with it that has like in-game currency, it has potions, some cool gear things for leveling up, and you get a pet called a mini finny egg, which is a really unique, never before seen pet. So if you're interested in trying the game, you should definitely go check it out. Get that so that you have cool stuff to mess around with. Next, I'm going to talk about Aion. They have a 3.9 update that's coming out. This is before their sort of infamous 4.0. I feel like I've been hearing about 4.0 for like ever. I used to play Aion. I played Aion when it first came out, and I really liked it. I thought the game was one of the most beautiful games I'd ever seen before, but this was quite a while ago. And I loved that you could fly. The only thing about that game was that there were a lot of bots, and eventually it became a really tedious, grindy game. But they fixed that. I know because I went back and played it for a little bit, but since then I haven't played, and I don't have access to my account anymore, and they moved my character and changed its name, and I was like, boo-hoo. So that's alright, but yeah. They are implementing a new beginner server, and I really liked this idea. It's basically like where you have your main servers, but if you're new, you can move to this beginner server where I guess there's going to be a lot of low-level people leveling. So like everybody who's new can go there and be able to do instances or be able to quest together, and it'll like feel, I think, a little bit more alive in the lower level areas. And I think that's such a great idea because you can always go back. And if you go to the beginner server, you get like a bonus to experience, and you get a bonus to drop rates of like items and stuff. Also in this update, they're adding a cross-realm, cross-server instancing, you know, sort of like what we see in World of Warcraft or other games where they're pulling from the player pool so that you can have a quicker time getting into an instance. They're also adding another storage cube. Now, storage cubes are like bags in the game, but this storage cube is kind of like the tab in SWTOR where you can put all your instanced items and like keys and stuff. Not instanced items, what am I trying to say? Questing items, things that just kind of take up space, and after you like collect a few quests, suddenly your bags are full. Well, they're implementing a new cube that'll just hold those, and that'll be in there. And I think that's almost essential because quest items are annoying to carry. Also, veteran level has been increased from 28 to 40. All right, and last week I asked you guys what would be your perfect MMO. I got a ton of answers and I read them all. Some of them were really long, like you guys would post multiple comments, and I read those and I really liked them, but I felt like they wouldn't really fit into the video, so I feel bad, but you know who you are, and it was interesting to read. So these are a few that I wanted to share with you today. One is from Lead1603. He says, EVE Online combined with Mass Effect. The EVE universe is awesome, but I really need the option to explore the planets and stations. I know it would be a massive undertaking to make a universe playable, but it would be amazing in my opinion. I absolutely agree. I love EVE for the way that it's set up, the PvP, all of that. The universe itself and how everything interacts with each other is just phenomenal. It makes no sense. But you have such a distance in sort of personality with it because you are just like a ship. It would be so cool with, like, I know that when they were doing Incarna, that was sort of like, oh, you could walk around in stations, but it would be so neat to have a game that had that depth that EVE Online has, but then also had a sort of like exploration aspect to it where you were actually going to... Now, I understand that Dust is supposed to be like that, but not really like that. I would want it to be more MMO based and not FPS based per se, so... I agree with you, Lead. All right, next comment is from Readly12345. Hi, Minship. The perfect MMO would be Fallout and subscription-based. I like knowing that I have access to all parts of the game. Holy crap, I love Fallout. I love post-apocalyptic games. Any sort of, scavenger, sort of lone warrior kind of roaming around in a desolated area, especially when they, take places that we know in the real world and show it to us in this more dilapidated condition. I love it. I don't know why. Maybe it's a little morbid to think that, like, one of my fantasies is to be able to go through a post-apocalyptic United States and, like, see everything all weird. Anyway, I'm kind of, like, going way too long on this, but that would be really cool. Fallout MMO would be really fun because you could make it ginormous. And you could have people like going around and meeting up and maybe grouping up and stuff, and it would have a very like lone feel. It would be really good. It's kind of like a Skyrim MMO, but like not fantasy based, put into the real world. And that sort of, I'd love it. Being able to still collect it, it would almost be like having like a single player game, but with an MMO experience. And I feel like that wouldn't be too hard to do. Probably absolutely impossible, and I'm an ignorant person. Right. And then finally, Shlakado said, my perfect MMO, it would have to have variety, the ability to create your own unique builds or class for my character, custom fit your character with unique armor and weapons, lots of varying content, randomly generated dungeons, different types of quests, and user-created content like dungeons, towns, and mini-games. Free to play, many different items in the cash shop, and certainly pay to unlock features, nothing game breaking. I absolutely agree. I think that would be so much fun. A game that's kind of like, how do I explain it? Really user content driven, but free to play, mini games implemented. I feel like these little aspects are in other games. Like for example, Warcraft 3, had a lot of like player-created maps and different game modes and stuff, right? So you have that in sort of like an MMO setting, so people could create mini-game. Then you have, fully customizable armor and stuff, kind of like how Dota 2 does with making gear for their heroes. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to be able to do all that, or even just like more, I agree with you. I think that would be really neat, is basically what I'm trying to say. And free-to-play is awesome because Cash Shop, you'd be able to, like, if you really wanted to get into the customization, you would, spend money for that. And also, that would help in terms of paying back the company for creating something that you were able to make so much content in. And like Dota 2, it would be really cool if you made stuff and other people wanted it for their character or whatever, that you could make a little bit of money if they sold it in their Cash Shop, much like Dota 2 does for when people create content for that. It goes up, and if anybody buys it, they pay you a percentage of it as well. So it's really cool. My question to you guys this week is, what do you think are features that need to be in an MMO nowadays? Because for me, when I think about it, it's like there are so many features that really just kind of need to be there in the beginning because we're so used to them. For example, cross-realm instancing or group finder, stuff like this. This sort of thing has been, that was like one of the biggest problems in MMOs, was trying to find somebody, especially multi-server MMOs with lower populations. It is hard to find a group. This is something I feel like that should be in the game at the beginning, but now a lot of times it's coming a lot later to other games. It's an advanced feature, I feel. But what do you guys feel, or what do you guys think are some of these features that are just like, man, if this game doesn't have this already, it's kind of like, why are you trying to say that your game is innovative, if that makes sense? So give me your creative or provocative responses, and I'll include them in my next video. Have a good one. Love you tons. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have to think of a question for you guys. No, I had one.